from November 30th through December 12th, it's taking place the COP28. It's a conference that addresses climate issues and health issues derived from the problems with climate change. This conference is happening in Dubai, and it changes every time the next conference is, it changes locations. And what is the issue with this COP28? What are the countries trying to achieve? I understand there are 77 countries involved this time around. They are trying to come together to analyze and to fund new ways to address climate change. But their mindset is that these climate change issues are all coming from fossil fuels burning. This means what we use as petroleum, gas, coal to produce electricity and to produce gas for cars, etc. And it's only or mainly focusing on phasing out fossil fuels. But what is the problem with phasing out fossil fuels? We have been harnessing these, earth-derived substances for years, for hundreds of years, to produce cold and heat in our homes and electricity, and to be able to move in our cars. And they are trying to now do away with these and replace these for renewables. And what are renewables? Renewables are, let's say, solar power, and you've seen those solar panels on rooftops, and also harnessing power through the wind, those wind turbines. But do you see what is behind on my background? That is called a quarry. It's where you come and you bite big chunks of earth and you deplete it in order to mine just products like coal and copper and silicon and aluminum, which are all needed to then build all of these solar panels infrastructure and wind turbines. I don't think they know exactly what they're going for. I don't think they have assessed the damage and the depletion they will cause to Earth in trying to do away abruptly of fossil fuels and going into these renewable sources, because it's very, very expensive to build these solar panels. A commercial solar panel can be easily have $1 million, and residential solar panels can be $25,000, $15,000. But that's the cost that is passed on to us as consumers. We are never seeing the damage that we are doing to Earth. These mines, these quarries that you see in my background, they are not visible in cities and just in suburban areas, etc. These are quarries that are far away from cities, distant from the eye of us, of the person, of the passerby. Nobody's seeing these quarries, how they work. These are places that are far away and maybe also closer to villagers and to indigenous places, and are bringing problems to these other people that live in nature enclosures, that live in forest sites. These places, these mining places, they contaminate the water of these villages. They bring all of these aluminum and other contaminants because of the mining into their water streams. And these people, these villagers, they are usually displaced and have to relocate because after some time, they cannot endure the health issues. Those are the health issues these people at the COP28 are not addressing. They're addressing health issues that are being, fostered by the so-called climate change. But what is the climate change? Climate change is not doing on its own. We are creating the change. And what is the change? The change is that we are over-consuming. We are using more than we should personally, individually, by country, by state, by city. We do not have any regard for what we consume from Earth. And it's very simple. If everybody, each individual consumes less, we do not have to deplete Earth from any resources. Because if you have in your closet 100 pair of pants or shoes or whatever the item is, you have much more than you have to have. And that's a way of depleting Earth. We overconsume. We buy stuff that we don't need. We don't buy as we need. We just buy to have it there and store it. That's exactly what is bringing all this climate change and all these issues. And we're all going around trying to fund new renewables when we are not going to the key of the problem and depletion, which is human overconsumption. That's what they should be addressing in that COP28. How each country, each government, each person, each city can address this issue of overconsumption with their citizens. The fashion industry is just unbelievable, huge on this overconsumption. They want you to buy and buy more and have this and have that, and it's another purse, it's another pair of shoes, it's another dress, it's another pair of earrings, and there is no stop to this. And there are many, many things that are behind this overconsumption that there is no time to address on this video. Why we're overconsuming is because we're very unhappy inside and unhealthy in our mind. That's why we overconsume. But that can be a conference on itself on that topic. But it's not being addressed at the COP28. They're trying to remedy a situation that has remedy, but they are not focusing on the right solution. So they want to do away with fossil fuels. They want to bring the renewables. And like on my background, this is what they're gonna do. They're gonna go to every single corner on Earth that they can mine aluminum, silicon, silver, and everything else that is needed to produce these solar panels and these wind turbines and anything else that they can find that can be supplementing energy. Why? Because they are really not concerned with Earth. They're really not concerned with not depleting Earth. They're only concerned with how to foster more consumption. So the problem is overconsumption. COP28 is just making pervasive consumption because in their minds and in their hearts, they don't have Earth. They only have how to continue building buildings, taller and taller buildings, how to continue, fostering cities and everything else, all social infrastructure. They are really not concerned about Earth, about the planet, about the ecosystems. Every time you open one of these holes on Earth, that's it for that piece of land, that's it. They will mine it until there is nothing else to mine out of it. And then they just abandon it to its own grace. So COP28 is not addressing the matter from the point of view that it should be addressed, which is educating people how to consume only what is needed, so that then you don't see the mountains of garbage in the sea, in the oceans, on land, with textiles and clothes and shoes and bottles of water and everything else that should not be on a landfill. So they're collecting funds. They have all these ideas that look good on paper, but in reality, it's not going to solve anything. It's going to put Earth on a bigger and on a greater predicament than now. Because I'm telling you, if you think fossil fuels is a problem, wait until you have to run Earth on renewables. And they are making a great campaign against the companies that are now utilizing fossil fuels for our consumption and for our benefit. It's a great campaign going out to phase out all of that without understanding what they are going to do in the future to this Earth and to people that live on indigenous areas and on places close to quarries. Because if you don't know, wherever there is left copper, aluminum, silver, silicon, all of these things, minerals, are only right now found because Earth has been depleted of it in areas where there are forests, areas where indigenous people live mostly. And they are fighting tooth and nail to keep their homes and to keep their communities. And this is going to destroy that as well. So the only solution to this issue is not renewables. It's not phasing away and doing away with fossil fuels, because you don't know what you're going to do. You don't know what you're going to destroy. Because like I've said in the past, if you're unconscious, you know what you're building, but you do not know what you're destroying. And this is what is going on COP28. They know what they are planning to build, but they don't know what they're going to destroy in the process. So there is a simple solution that has been spoken about by programs like Save Soil, where they have understood and they have gone to countries and also presented conferences on this. If you replenish the soil, if you fertilize the soil, not as inputting fertilizers, but making it fertile, by putting humus, by using agroforestry, which is to plant crops and also plant trees around so the soil doesn't degrade. If you rotate the crops, if you rehabilitate the soil, if you do not further degrade the soil, if you see that the soil has the minimum content of nutrients that it needs for our health, if you focus, in other words, if you focus on the soil, on making it better, the soil itself, just the soil, just the land, is the solution to all of this that COP28 wants to address by furthering damaging Earth. Because the soil represents both our health, because when we have good nutrition, we're healthy. When we have the food systems working properly, we're healthy. And it will address the climate issue, which is the warming, the carbon that they want to sequester. The land, when it's healthy, will do the job of sequestering this carbon. And then it's a natural process of how to distribute it underground and releasing it little by little, because we need it. We cannot do away with carbon like many people think. It's our friend, it's not our enemy. The quantities just need to be handled well. And the soil, it's the one substance that knows how to do this naturally. Just the land. We just need to replenish the land. This that we're doing on my background is what is destroying the land. We just need to put the soil back to a fertile, rehabilitated, non-degraded, non-desertified status, and it will do the work that you all at COP28 want to do with planning that will not work and will further eliminate the fertile lands by doing this. Then COP28, it's going through December 12th. If you want to check it out, if you want to see what they're doing for yourself, you're welcome. But I'm telling you, they are not going on their way to successfully find a solution. They are going to further degrade, disintegrate, and do away with fertile soils on land. That's what they're doing. And more of this on my background, you're gonna see. Closer and closer to the cities, closer and closer to urban areas. Because you need a lot of silicon, aluminum, silver, copper, all of that to build those solar panels. I don't see any future right now where we can build renewables without depleting Earth. Because if we have only used fossil fuels, that is the most natural way to do it. And we should keep doing it like that for a reason. Because this doesn't work. Renewables do not work. But it takes a lot of consciousness to understand this. It takes a lot of non-greediness to understand this. That's why it's not happening right now.